Hi. All right, so let's talk about bipedalism. You should have your PowerPoints in front of you and be following along as I discuss it. So the first PowerPoint slide on bipedalism discusses the different types of physical traits that we see in bipedal hominids, which would be us and some of our ancestors. So the first is an arching foot, and this there are photographs that will show you how the foot arches. Some people have very flat feet and they have to have arch supports, otherwise their feet hurt after a long period of time. Some of the earliest footprints that we found had an arching foot. And the arch does help us to have that heel-toe gait and to also walk bipedally. The second point on the slide is that the foramen magnum is very far forward. That is the hole in the base of the skull. In fact, let me grab a skull. This is the skull of Australopithecus afarensis, Lucy. And you can see here that the foramen magnum is somewhat farther forward in her skull. This is the foramen magnum, the hole. I know it's kind of dark. There we go. That's the hole, and it's the opening at the base of the skull where the spinal cord goes in. So this would indicate bipedality, the foramen magnum would. The next one is a shortened pelvis. Our pelvises are short, as where gorillas and chimpanzees have more elongated pelvi. The gluteal muscles are more developed. We can definitely see this. And in humans, we have larger gluteal muscles than chimpanzees and gorillas. They have kind of a flatter bottom, and humans have a more rounded bottom. The angle of the femur, excuse me, as you look at the slide of the angle of the femur, you're going to notice that the chimpanzee's femur, that most of the support for that is alongside a more straight angle. But when you come to humans, that we have a more tilted angle of the femur. And that is the widest, actually, that it can be and still allow us to walk upright. The locking knee joint, our knee joint locks together, and this is a great thing to have if you want to walk upright. Chimpanzees cannot lock their knee joint, as where we can, but also that causes a problem because if you stand for too long with your knee joint locked, then you could pass out because of a lack of blood getting to your brain. So you want to be careful to at least unlock your knees from time to time as you're standing at attention. And then a non-divergent great toe. Our toes are all together in a row, but chimpanzees and gorillas and orangs have a divergent great toe, which is more like a hand. So their great toes are off to the side. You're going to see on the next slide the copies of the great toe, and the chimpanzee is on the far left, then the gorilla is in the center, and the human is in the far right. And as you look at the pictures of the skeleton, the human is on the left and the chimpanzee is on the right. As you look at the next one, it'll show you a picture of the foramen magnum with a baboon on the left side and a human on the right, and you can clearly see that the baboon foramen magnum is far back. The next one is the angle of the femur. Again, you're going to see where that chimpanzee, which is on the left, is straight up and down, with the majority of the pressure being applied to the interior part of the inside of the leg. And on humans, it's on the outer part of our knee. That's where the pressure is going to be. And then you can see then a picture of a gorilla versus a human in the pelvis. And you'll see that the pelvis, which is highlighted in red for the gorilla and for the human, that the pelvis for the gorilla is much more elongated and the pelvis for the human is much more shortened. And then you'll see the gluteal muscles for a chimpanzee and for a human. And it will also show the muscles of the trapezius and also the muscles in the lower leg and the arching of the foot. If you want to know what the thing on the top is, which is purple, that would be the inner ear, and that also can show bipedality. So take a look at those slides, and if you have questions, be sure and ask them during the discussions or chats. Okay.